Hello, my darlings. My name is Victoria, and this is Veritas Tarot. Scorpio, I'm going to do your summer reading for you. We're going to be doing the Wheel of Fortune reading, the Wheel of Life reading. We're going to look at where you are currently, yourself. We're going to look at your environment, and then we're going to use the 4 seasons as an analogy to go a little bit deeper into this reading for you today. If the reading resonates, as you know, you're simply remembering in divine timing what you need to know at this time. And if it doesn't resonate, my darling, it simply means this reading wasn't for you at this time. You'll always be guided to see a reading at exactly the right time for you. I am using 88 cards here, so I'm using 22 cards, 22 major arcanas from 4 different tarot decks, because the arcanas are an amazing way of just getting to that nitty-gritty of the situation for you, and they're the big messages from spirit. They're the big life-changing cards in terms of spiritual messages for you. As ever, my darlings, my darling Scorpios, thank you so much for all of your comments, your likes, your subscribes. I am so grateful, and I am replying to each and every one of you. So do have patience with me with that. If you would like a personal reading with me, all of the details are in the description box below. And if you would like to make a donation, you can do so in the donation link below, or now I've got a little super thanks attached to these readings. So my darlings, let's see for Scorpio, for those that most need to hear the message, where are you right now in terms of yourself, my darling? Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. What wants to come out for you? That one wants to come out. Goodness me, Scorpio, you never do things by halves, do you? We have the transformation card that has come out for you here. It says here, realization, life change, and liberation. So the transformation card, my darling, is the Tower. So there has been, or there is being at the moment, because this little sandglass thing is still moving. There is a massive change for you at this moment in time. Along with that change, you have you're walking away from something, and you're feeling a little bit like you're being led. You're being guided to walk away from a situation. It is something that you felt very committed to, but that has changed. Now you see the transformation card in terms of, the Tower card. This is either disruption for you. Okay, let's call that disruption, sort of chaos. It's a significant life change. Now I go back to, everything is always changing and evolving. We may or may not take notice of that, but everything is always changing and evolving. Our minds are changing, evolving. Our bodies are changing, evolving. Our relationships with everybody is always changing, evolving. Everything in the world is always changing and evolving. And when we try and hold on to something that is constantly in a shifting motion, then we can get very upset. So this is a significant life change for you at this time. And for many of you, I don't feel this has turned your life upside down, but it has released a lot of attachments or is releasing a lot of attachments that you may have had, or somebody else may have had, or some situation where there was quite a heavy presence, a heavy energy around it as well. But you may have felt that this is a moment where life has sort of pulled the rug out from beneath your feet. So I want you to just flip in your mind the perception that if we are all, okay, and this transformation card has got a structure here, hasn't it? It's a very dense matter, energetic structure called the Tower. So when we are all energy, and when we're all in a certain form of energetic structure, and everybody is different. Now, when that energetic structure has fulfilled its purpose, that structure starts to dissolve, it starts to change, and suddenly it can happen overnight. And it can be very upsetting, it can be very startling, it can be very unexpected, it can be very complicated, it can be very challenging. But in all of this, it is because you, your soul, have put forward that message that you are willing to expand into a more expanded open structure, a shifting structure. And so look at it that that this is happening. Again, I say this a lot, it's happening for you. The only thing that is causing resistance at this time is your resistance to the change. And I know it's very difficult, but you know, one of the things that we experience when we experience these big challenging situations, and I touched on this the other day, is confusion about why this is happening. But anything that is confusing for us is giving us the opportunity for knowledge. It's called the knowledge emotion. So it's giving us the opportunity for knowledge to grow, to shift. You're getting here the words here: realization, life change, and liberation. So it brings me back to, there has been a release for you of something at this time, and you really feel like you're being led in a direction. You're being led away. It is still going on, but it is almost over, darling. As in that cycle is closing, that structure has come down. So this is a beautiful card for you. Do make sure that you understand this is happening for you. This is not happening to you at this time. I just want to see if there's anything else that I can see. No, that is it. That's your transformation card. That's your death card at this time. Right. So let's move ahead and see what's your environment that's around you at this time. Thank you, Spirit. Environment for Scorpio. Environment for Scorpio. Thank you. Well, that one wanted to come out. Release. Oh my goodness. So this is the death card. So you've still got, let me just put those cards away. Release. So this is the death card. This is the environment around you. Okay, so this is what is surrounding you at this time that is influencing you at the moment and your choices. And you've got here the release card, the death card. So what this is saying for me, my darling, is that the environment is encouraging you to change the way that you are thinking about things. This is this knowledge emotion. So whatever chaos, whatever conflict is happening at this time, it's encouraging you to change the way you're thinking about things. This release card, transformation and release, it is... with the death card, nothing can stop the death card. Okay, so this is something that is absolutely moving forward, and it is, you know, the card, when we release, we transform, and so these two cards go beautifully together. When something in the death card, when something is released, when something is let go of, when we release that tension in an old structure, energetic structure, and we embrace the transformational change of the new expanded structure in our lives that's coming in, then we don't hold on to any resistance. And I'm feeling at this time that because of how you have handled yourself and because of how you are at this time, you're coming into this is with this peacock, you're coming into this full beauty of who you are, my darling. And it is a very peaceful state. And the white rose symbolizes peace, but it symbolizes that wonderful state of self-love that you are coming into. Now, the other thing that I feel with this is, and this is a kind of like a big one, but how can we know ourselves, okay, unless it's in relation to something else or somebody else? That is that wonderful yin yang thing as well. How can the duality, how can we know ourselves? How can we have any relationship with ourselves unless we understand who we are in relation to other people? So I want you to think about that, and think about, as what have you learned about yourself? What have you learned about who you are in this situation? And what have you learned about your soul, your spiritual connection to the universe? So that's just a question I'm just going to put out there for you. It says here, it's time to release the past and move on to something new. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. So I feel with you, because the butterflies are there, and you're going through this transformation and you are being led in this, you feel like you're being guided in this, that you are already very much down this path, this journey of embracing the new. Although, of course, there are always things, continuous things that we're being asked to release in our life. But I feel with this card that you are coming into some form of acceptance, and more than acceptance, you're coming into a place of giving thanks for what has happened, the circumstances that has happened, and also for the gifts of knowledge, the gifts of knowing, the gifts of understanding that you may not yet have seen, but is coming in. So, and also the peacock's feathers talk about releasing those pain-driven, pain body, ego reactions to things, and it allows you to understand about who you are. Because, as I say many times, we are all it experiencing itself. We are all the universe. We are all part and parcel. We're all unity. We're all one. And actually, when we have a relationship with another, if we can see them as also the universe experiencing itself, it then makes a lot more sense of things as well. And it allows us to have a trust and a faith and a belief that this is all happening for us. I'll touch on that in more detail, but let's move ahead and let's see. The next lot of cards are winter. Okay, so I've just made some notes on this. Winter is a time when we sort of huddle down and we rest and we stay warm. It's a time of keeping warm, isn't it? Sort of gathering energy. So what are you sort of taking a break from right now? And what is awaiting the spring? What is awaiting the spring blossoms? Thank you, Spirit. Let's see what wants to come out. Strength. So I really feel that this situation, whatever you're thinking about at this time, has emotionally been exhausting for you. And this is why you've had a period of time where you've been able to huddle down. You've been able to sort of be in solitude. You've been able to comfort yourself and be in comfortable surroundings that allow that nurturing to happen. You do have a great deal of assistance around you, different types of assistance, and each and every one of those people has been sent to you, has a different gift, a different message for you at this time. The Strength card is the, you see, when you are in a place of emotional exhaustion, you are given this time to rest, because remember that when we feel, those feelings are energy and our emotions are energy, emotion. And so when we go through something that is causing a great deal of conflict and contrast in our lives, we do need to be understanding and respectful of that within ourselves, and to give ourselves the time and the space to recover as well. And you're always given some form of time and space to recover. The other thing about the Strength card is it represents, and because you've got all these different guides here as well, it represents, do you see she's standing there and she's very committed to what she's doing. It represents your willpower at this time, which is rather beautifully. Think about the word willpower. It is empowering you to know that whatever you are, wherever you are right now, that you are willing this to happen. This is the universe experiencing itself. And so if you look at it, and there was a lovely analogy, I think that Alan Watts said about the universe is playing a game of hide and seek with itself. And sometimes the players representing all the universe get lost, and they go on lots of adventures and they get lost, and then, but they do find themselves, or they are found. And so in this game of hide and seek, it's you are doing all of this for yourself. And it is in order to find out who you are. It is in order for you to come into this extraordinary place of connection with yourself. What do I mean by that? Yourself, your higher self, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. This beautiful omnipresence that everything, source energy, comes from. And that is the most important relationship, because from that relationship, all else comes. And I feel this is allowing you to start to believe that you're not just an identity. You're not just a personality. You're not just something within this skin that is separate from everything else, because that causes fear and anxiety. And it also causes us to try and control outcomes the whole time, because unless we do it, who else is going to do it, is the question. But it's about suspending that belief, because that is something that we've been conditioned for thousands of years to believe, and actually come to the space of we are it, experiencing itself. We are the same energy. We do things spontaneously all the time without realizing it, just like nature does. We are omnipotent. You know, we can do things simultaneously and spontaneously with all the time without realizing it. I am doing that now by moving and talking at the same time. Everything within me is working beautifully by itself without me paying any attention to it. And so within that space of just suspending belief that we are not it, but actually we are it, that power is what is willing this forward now at this time. You are coming into a sense of empowerment, and your will is the universe's will. So if you are taking responsibility for this, which I feel like you are, this is your game of hide and seek. What is your next move going to be in this, with the awareness and the understanding that every relationship we have, my darling, every single relationship, that everything in this universe has to have a relationship with something else in order to be. What is it? And if every relationship is for our soul's evolution, what is this situation? What has it taught you? What knowledge has it given you? What shifts has it made within you? And the Strength card talks about almost the kind of, not the death of the ego, but the stronger connection with your spiritual self, the stronger understanding that when you stand in a place of awareness, that you're not a victim of this, that you are causing and creating in order to further expand yourself, then you can facilitate change with a great willpower, because you're doing it for yourself, my darling. You're looking to make a change. And this is something that is coming in for you. If it isn't here already, because this is winter, this is a time of what you're gathering energy for. This is coming in for you. And you are exactly where you're meant to be right now in terms of gathering your energy back in order to move forward, to act through fear. To act through fear, and act with soul-led instinct, because that will, my darling, give you courage as well. You know, she's standing there very powerfully. This is about standing in a place of strength. This is about standing in a place for what's right for you, maybe what's right from others, but it's also about standing with love and with compassion for the situation too, and doing things the natural way, doing things with the understanding that you're not going to try and force it. So that's the winter card for you. So now let's have a look at spring. So spring is a time of growth, of things that have grown in the dark, and what in your life is just starting to come into spring. What is in your life is just starting to come into blossom, just starting to appear, you know, just starting to gain momentum. Thank you, Spirit. Woo, that flew out. Well, of course, of course you have. You've got the rebirth card here. So I think this appeared in one of the other daily readings, didn't it? The rebirth card. So let me just move this over here. So this is, my darling, this one here is actually, it's like the death and rebirth card. So it's a combination of a sort of, number 9 is normally the Hermit, but this is also the death and rebirth card. So you've kind of had 2 of these cards. This is like a double confirmation from you, from Spirit. So this is the embracing of what is unknown yet for you. What is a secret? You see here with the crow. It is this expression within you of leading from the heart space now. Things are actually, do you see here, they are coming into blossom. And there is a lighter, brighter step. There is a feeling within you that you feel a sense of relief as well. So this is what is beginning to appear, just those little signs that there is a shift in the air. There is There's a lighter energy. And it's because of the changes, my darling, that you have made within yourself at this time. And everything is heartfelt. And it's like a turning point for you. That's the easiest way of saying it, isn't it? It's like where you felt once no hope, now you feel hope. And I want you to think about the decisions that you have made for yourself that have led you to this place. Can you see the pattern that has happened for you, that has been led by you, by your will, to bring you to this space where you are here? And in this space of rebirth, where everything seems different, that truth that you're beginning to understand, whether it's the truth of the situation or it's the truth of it all, that we are it all experiencing itself, having that game of hide and seek. And you know that if you see it all as it's having this game of sort of hide and seek with itself, but it always wakes up and comes back to itself. And everybody is waking up at various different stages of their lives. And you are going through, or are already very strongly within, this awakening process. And if you think about it, that means we were asleep before, and it's so conditioned to believing, because we've been taught for so long, that we are a separate entity. We are an automated separate being, and therefore we have to control everything. But we don't have to control everything. And actually, when we allow things to happen spontaneously by itself, it is within the natural order of things. You know, you notice that, you know, we breathe without thinking, we breathe spontaneously. But if we start to try and control our breath, it is a little bit more difficult. I am moving my hands spontaneously. But I couldn't explain to you how that happens. There are no words for that, but it just happens. And that is the omnipotent side of us, just like the universe is. So we are given examples and we are shown all the time, but this whole point of where we are is for us to come home to ourselves. And I really feel that this whatever challenge, whatever loss, whatever sorrow, whatever pain that you are going through, you are beginning to see the meaning and the purpose of all of this. And you are in this space able to, like the phoenix rising up from the ashes, you are becoming so much wiser. You are tapping it, you're tuned in and tapped on to your intuition, to your soul. You are so much stronger. That strength card is coming in for you after the winter, and your connection to yourself is beautiful. I think that's fantastic for you. So, all right, let's move ahead and let's see, my darling. Let us see what is coming in the summer. So this is the summer season for you. This is not obviously the real summer season, but this is what is coming in after the spring. This is a time of abundance. This is a time of beauty, a time of growth. What is it in your life that is in full bloom right now? What is right there in front of you that you can take great joy from and great contentment from, and you're very grateful for? Thank you, Spirit, for Scorpio. Thank you for Scorpio. There we go. Well, what I feel, you got here number 6, which is the maze, and number 6 normally in the major arcanas is also the lovers as well. So I feel with this that this is your place of not feeling you're in this situation. This is something where you were lost. It was this game of hide and seek with yourself, literally, and you felt very alone. And so for me, is about you. What's coming in for you right now is that you have stopped trying to control. You have let go. And because of that, you're starting to see things happen in your life spontaneously without any effort, because you are allowing it to happen, because you know that you are experiencing it. And you have come into a place of being that sort of human being. You are doing much more being than doing, because, you know, we've been taught to try and control things. We've been taught that we have to make something happen in order for it to happen. And you're trusting now, my darling, that the universe is guiding you at this time. So that is a beautiful, beautiful card. In terms of the, if this is to do with the Lover's card, these are choices that you're making now from this awareness. Your conscious awareness of who you are is allowing you to make choices that are going to have beautiful, beautiful ripple effect, beautiful ramifications for you. And the storm is passing. The storm is passing here, do you see? And actually, you're not afraid of future storms, future changes, future challenges in your life, because you now can observe it from the place that actually you are responsible for this. You are playing this game of hide and seek with yourself. And maybe that's the theme for this reading. And in doing so, you are getting to know yourself, because again, how can we know ourselves unless it's in relationship to something else? Everything is interdependent upon everything else in order for it to be a certain way. So think about that in terms of the situation that you're in right now. Okay, so let's have a look now for autumn. Now, autumn is also a time of releasing, which you've been doing an awful lot of, but it's also a time of abundance, isn't it? It's also a time of things coming in, things that have gone through the seasons, the cycles. So let's have a look at this and just see what wants to come out for you. Thank you, Spirit, for autumn, for Scorpio. So what have we got here? Balance. This fantastic card here, balance. So, and it almost sort of looks a little bit like autumn, doesn't it? Because she's picking the blackberries there, which sort of come out in autumn. So there are going to be some very obvious things coming in for you. Maybe they're already here now. This is the balance card. It's an interesting card, the balance card, because you've got here both the bear, and the bear represents the reclusive time in winter that you have spent, the need also for rest, the continued need for rest, the continued need to care for yourself. It's about you doing things in moderation, Spirit is saying. So it's about maybe with releasing the need to do everything all at once, not to have to feel that you've got responsibility of everything. Yes, you are responsible for your reactions to things. Yes, you are aware. Yes, you're responsible for your response to things as well, remembering that response comes from an awareness and reactions come from a conditioned, programmed, automated mind. So you are responsible for all of that, but you're not responsible for others, my darling. You're not responsible for how others feel. You're not responsible for how others think. And in fact, the less time and less attention you spend on that, the happier you will be. Spirit is saying that what will also come in for you in and it's quite close as well as the answers to quite a few things, the solutions to quite a few challenges that you are facing at this time. It is a reminder always about the need to continuously let go of expectations of outcomes, trusting that this will happen, everything that is happening for you at this time is happening by itself. It is happening all the time, everywhere, and it is all coming into balance for you. It is also about you focusing your time in the present as much as possible and focusing on the sweetness, because she's picking the blackberries, about what is there right now for you, being ready to shift and change direction if needs be, and also to approach us with the energy, the beautiful energy of a child. That is also very, very important for you at this time. Listen as well to those that have been sent to you at this time. And it comes back to making balanced choices, doesn't it? It comes back to making choices at this time. Are they the right ones for you? Do they feel right when you make those choices? Does it feel like a sense of relief when you make a choice? If it doesn't, then don't do anything at this time. Where are you giving your attention to at this time? There is still a certain sense of letting go that is needed, but where are you paying attention at this time? Because if you think about it, when we step back with that awareness and say, okay, I am getting to know myself better because of this. What do I know better? Focus on the inward, not on the outward. If this is with regards to a relationship, look at what the relationship itself has given, the duality of the relationship. What has it given you? What has it helped you to let go of? What is it encouraging you to release? What insights has it given you about yourself? All of that is the underlying soul gift in all of this. And it's interesting if we are in relationship to others all the time, and in terms of a love relationship, if we look at it, that if we see it, when we go into a new relationship, we tend to love unconditionally. We don't know the other person very well, but we tend to love. That feeling feels beautiful, doesn't it? And that is because what we're actually doing in this game of hide and seek is seeking to find that within us, because that's who we are. We are love. So we seek it elsewhere outside of ourselves. And then what happens, we feel those extraordinary feelings in that honeymoon period. And then the controlled program mind takes over a bit, and we start to go through the same patterns of behavior we've had before. And therefore, the expectations that we have of other people are based on the lack of connection within ourselves in terms of self-love. Not in all cases, but this is just an overall. And so what we do is we begin to feel those same feelings that we used to feel in other relationships. And we can project them onto that person, where actually the relationship is there to allow us to view those feelings within ourselves. Because if we are love and we go and think, well, I love that person, what we're actually feeling is a feeling of love. Now, does it matter if it's for that person or it's actually for yourself? Because that is you, opposite you. We are all it experiencing itself. But it is about releasing expectations of people, because everybody is in a particular point of their soul path. And what happens is that we have this spiritual essence of us, and as I said, we have this human essence, and it mingles, okay, and it causes, and it is responsible for this game of hide and seek, the lost and found in us. And sometimes it can be a little bit too strong in one area and not enough in the other. So just trust that sometimes when we feel certain feelings about certain people, it's because the ego, the human mind aspect essence of us has kind of scanned the situation and seen that there might be a problem, so it starts to go into a defensive mode. So just take that step back sometimes and just look at considering your choices. I feel like you've done so much of this already. You are so aware of this. I am just going to pull one last card, and then we will finish. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. One last card for Scorpio. Thank you. What have we got here? So you've got 5, unity, which is just wonderful here. This is the Hierophant card, my darling. So this is to say this is an extraordinary time of deep spiritual growth for you. This is your commitment to spirituality. It can seem a lonely time, but you are being asked to be in solitude at this time. Not to venture forth into new relationships until you have come into a space of understanding the relationship you have with yourself and who you are and why you're here. The unity, I talked about unity earlier, didn't I? So this is the understanding that we are all one. but we can't have a relationship with that one, can we? So that's why there is a duality in everything, in order for there actually for us to understand the unity of it all. And it says here, embrace this time of deep spiritual growth. You may feel called to act as a mentor, find a new teacher, or spend time with others who are also on the sacred path. And I'm just going to end with saying that, you know, the Hierophant card is about that spiritual calling. You've got all these cards here to say that the universe will always send you who you need at exactly the right time for you. So do trust in that. And if something hasn't appeared yet, it will do. But also you are seeing signs everywhere. Remember, the universe, God is everywhere, in everything. So look at it with those eyes, with those eyes wide open, with that peripheral vision, that it is there right in front of you to see. And all you have to do is believe. All you have to do, my darling, is believe that you are it experiencing itself. And then what happens is you start to actually see things that you might have otherwise have missed. It's right there touching you. Do you see the white butterfly there? And it's very delicate, but it's right there. It'll never interfere. Your soul never interferes, but it'll always guide you, my darling. And there are those that are with you at this time. There are those that have been, that may be, you know, a guru, a mentor, a teacher who's able to ask you the right questions, who's able to not necessarily teach you, but bring the answers out of you at this time, because you have to feel those answers. And I really feel that with the Northern Lights here as well, there is a huge amount of a little bit of sprinkles of light and magic that are there for you. Number 5. So there we go, my darling. And I'm also seeing the Balance card, which is the Temperance card. So this is the understanding, just lastly, because I do have a reading in a couple of minutes, that the word blend here is coming out with this. Everything in moderation. There is no rush for this journey. You're exactly where you're meant to be. It's about blending the ideas that you had with new concepts of things, new beliefs. It's about being open to others' thoughts and opinions, because how can we believe and know something ourselves unless we have looked at what we don't believe as well? So you are doing something. You may be doing something with others at this time, or about to, that's going to create something beautiful. We've got a lot of balance in this reading. This is a time of growth for you. This is a time where you're on your life path at the moment. And just be prepared to diversify out potentially from where you are right now. Do spend time in nature. Do spend time talking to your guides, angels, or effectively talking to yourself, and continue to look to be open to those wonderful coincidences, those co-creating incidences, those aha moments. But you are exactly where you're meant to be at the moment. This is Temperance. This is have patience, have faith. It is all resolving itself in this game of hide and seek for you. And you have found yourself, and now just allow the natural order of things to come into play as well. You don't need to worry about this right now, my darling. You're about to embark on a great big adventure, and you've just been getting ready for it. There we are, my darlings. So lots of love, and I look forward to doing another reading for you soon, my darlings. And in the meantime, do enjoy my daily readings. Thank you so much for everything, Scorpio. Lots of love.